You ever watch a kid play and just know? Like the first time Mbappé ran past defenders like cones. Or when Bellingham bossed a midfield full of grown men at 17. Well, it's happening again. After watching youth game highlights at 2 a.m., reading match report, and catching glimpses of brilliance on random Tuesday night games. Here's what we have learned. There are 5 players right now across Europe, South America, even MLS that feel different. These kids are barely old enough to rent a car, yet already changing the way we watch football. One scored a Champions League hat-trick at 16. Another just pocketed his idol on international debut. This isn't just hype. There's proof. By 2026, these guys are guaranteed to be everywhere. Shirts, headlines, haunting defenders, or breaking transfer records. Let's find out who they are before the rest of the world catches up. 5. Arda Güler, Real Madrid, Turkey. There's something surreal about watching a player so young make elite football look this easy. Not long ago, Arda Güler was sidelined. Injuries kept him off the pitch for most of the season. At a club like Real Madrid, where every match feels like a war for survival and squad depth runs 10 layers deep, most teenagers would fade into the background, but not Guler. When he finally returned, he didn't just slot in quietly, he exploded. 6 goals in just 373 minutes. That's 1 every 62 minutes, a number usually reserved for elite strikers at their peak. Except Guler is a midfielder, and barely 19. What makes him stand out isn't just the stat sheet, it's how he plays. He glides, that's the word. Not runs, not dribbles, glides. Like he's floating just above the turf, seeing gaps others don't, making decisions 2 moves ahead. His first touch feels magnetic. The kind of player who doesn't just control the ball, he tames it. And then came the Euros. Turkey versus Georgia. Not exactly a high-stakes classic on paper, but Guler turned it into a highlight reel. Picks up the ball outside the box, cuts inside, left foot, bang. Top bins. Not just a goal, a statement. The youngest player ever to score on his European Championship debut, and one of the goals of the tournament. But that wasn't just a flash. Every minute since, he's played with the confidence of someone who belongs, not just at the Euros, but at Madrid. Not just in this season, but beyond. 4. Kobbie Mainoo, England, Manchester United. Calm in the storm, the young lion in midfield chaos. Before the crowd knew his name, Kobbie Mainoo was already turning heads at Carrington. But the moment he truly arrived wasn't in a press release or a quiet debut. It was in the pressure cooker of an injury-stricken Manchester United midfield when fans were begging for order and control, and got it from a teenager. It's not just that he's calm, it's the way he reshapes games with composure most veterans dream of. You don't expect an 18-year-old to glide past press lines with a swivel, or deliver a disguised pass through 2 zones of pressure like it's a routine Tuesday, but Kobbie does. And he makes you forget he's barely had a handful of Premier League starts. His real breakout moment? Arguably that match-winning goal against Wolves in the 97th minute. Not only did he rescue United from another meltdown, but he did it with the cold-blooded timing and balance of a seasoned finisher. The moment silenced Molyneux and announced him to England. Then came the Euros. Gareth Southgate brought him to Germany, and skeptics questioned whether it was too soon. But by the time England reached the final, those questions had vanished. Mainoo wasn't just part of the squad, he was integral. Playing alongside Declan Rice, he offered balance, vision, and fearlessness in games that could have overwhelmed him. 3. Lamine Yamal, Barcelona, Spain. How do you begin to describe a kid who's breaking records faster than people can update Wikipedia? Lamine Yamal wasn't supposed to be this good this early. At 15, he was just that exciting La Masia prospect with YouTube compilations and a dreamy left foot. At 16, he was scoring for Barcelona. At 17, he was starting for Spain at the Euros, not just showing up, but dominating. Everything about him feels ahead of schedule. His frame is still growing, his voice barely deepened, but the way he plays? It's surgical, calm, calculated. He's not fazed by 80,000 fans, screaming defenders, or high-pressure knockout games. In fact, he thrives on it. The moment that made everyone sit up came in the Euro 2024 semifinal. Spain versus France. Game on the line. Lamine cuts in from the right, 25 yards out, left foot. Boom! A curling screamer into the top corner past Mike Maignan. The kind of goal you dream about in your backyard. The kind of goal only legends score on that stage. That goal made him the youngest goal scorer ever at a European championship, breaking a record that had stood for decades. And yet, it wasn't just about the goal. It was how he scored. Warren Zaïre-Emery, France, Paris Saint-Germain. It's not every day a 16-year-old starts for PSG, not in the Cup, not in preseason, but in Ligue 1, and later, the Champions League. That's how Warren Zaïre-Emery entered the scene. No warm-up, no fluff, just thrown into the deep end of European football's pressure tank. And somehow, he looked like he belonged more than the veterans beside him. PSG's midfield has been a revolving door for years. Stars came and went, some dazzled, some fizzled. But this teenager brought something rare: balance. The kind of awareness that doesn't show up in stats. He doesn't overdo things, he doesn't chase the spotlight. But give him a pocket of space, and he'll unlock your entire system with one pass. What's wild is how many systems he's already adapted to. Under Galtier, he was a controlled outlet. Under Luis Enrique, he became a high-energy pivot and press breaker. And still, not once did the occasion look too big for him. In fact, the bigger the stage, the calmer he plays. The moment that turned heads globally, that Champions League night versus Milan, a goal, an assist, and a masterclass in maturity. Then came the call-up to the French senior team, and he scored on debut. But here's the twist. He picked up an injury in that very game and still finished the match. 1. Endrick, Brazil, Palmeiras, Real Madrid. Every generation of Brazilian football has that player. The one draped in both hype and hope. Pelé, Ronaldo, Ronaldinho, Neymar, and now it's Endrick. He wasn't eased into stardom, he was launched into it. At just 16, Palmeiras trusted him in a title race. And what did he do? Score, not just once, but when it mattered most. Equalizers, winners, goals from outside the box, headers left foot, right foot. Cold, clinical, and often spectacular. There's something deeply Brazilian about the way he plays. Swagger, spontaneity, but also weight of a nation composure. The way he drops deep like Benzema, spins like Romario, and finishes like R9. But there's something new school too. He presses, he tracks back, he speaks about learning, not just shining. Then came Real Madrid, the super club that knows how to spot tomorrow's stars before anyone else. They didn't wait for a bidding war. They signed him before he turned 18, the same club that bet on Vinicius, Rodrigo, and now Endrick. What makes him different? When Brazil played England at Wembley in 2024, Endrick came on and scored the winner. The youngest foreign player to ever score there. Then against Spain, another goal. Back-to-back games, back-to-back headlines. And still, his interviews sound like someone who's just grateful to be there. The Brazilian number 9 role has faded in recent years, but with his blend of instinct, power, and humility, Endrick might be the bridge between past legends and a new era. By the next World Cup, he'll be 20 and already a Real Madrid regular. If Brazil wants redemption, they'll look to Endrick. Not just to score, but to inspire belief. He's not the next Neymar, he's the first Endrick. Whether it's 2026 in the US, or next season's Champions League, or a random Tuesday night fixture that goes viral by morning, these are the players to watch. And if you made it this far, it means you're not just a fan. You're a witness, a scout, a believer. So don't forget to like and subscribe. We will see you in the next video.